Unite the Union's offices were the location for today's cross-frontier group meeting, in which David McAllister MEP and the EU Counsel to the government Sir Graham Watson were both a part of. The German MEP addressed the group, giving his view on June's Brexit vote.
As a Democrat, of course, I respect a decision taken by a narrow majority of the British people. However, I felt heartbroken on the 23rd of June. I think that was a terrible mistake, what happened, but now we've got to cope with the situation. And I met Graham Watson a few weeks ago in Strasbourg, and we talked about the situation here in Gibraltar, and he invited me to come, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to listen to you people and try and get an impression of what this outcome of the referendum actually means for you here in Gibraltar.
Sir Graham also had to say, discussing which matters he was most keen to raise in the meeting.
How trade unions from Gibraltar and Spain work together, how business organisations from the Spanish side and the Gibraltar side work together, and indeed how we keep all of this going given the shadow that is hanging over us of a possible UK exit from the European Union. Because it's important not only for Gibraltar and for Andalusia that this trade continues, but important for the European Union that there is hope for people in this area who are looking for jobs, for people who want to invest and see business succeed.
The cross-frontier group, whose formation stemmed from frontier issues dating back to 2013, have been particularly busy since Brexit, attempting to ease concerns regarding the border and also what the future holds for cross-border relations.
It was a very positive meeting. Primarily, he was here to listen to what message we had to transmit to him, which we did. We conveyed the sentiment of primarily of people of Gibraltar, which he was already very aware of the 96% vote to remain in Europe, which we were all well aware that unfortunately that didn't necessarily mean that overall we were to remain. He echoed the sentiment that it was very sad to see the UK and therefore Gibraltar along with it depart, but that he remains hopeful that we'll be able to find a good working grounds in order to transition to the next phase. We also spoke, obviously, through the work that the cross-frontier group has done before the point of the referendum, and we discussed the border situation and the transition, the free flow of people and capital and services into Gibraltar, which has always been a very important objective of the cross-frontier group, to ensure that this remains a free-flowing border, which again he echoed a very sympathetic sentiment to that objective.
Germany's status as one of the EU's major players makes Mr McAllister's visit today even more significant, with the group keen to stress how the continued lobbying of European MEPs is vital for their long-term goals.
It's incredibly important, and that is actually something which he transmitted to us. He's now had the opportunity, thanks to Sir Graham Watson, to learn about Gibraltar prior to his visit here, all down to the efforts of Sir Graham Watson, his direct lobbying to David McAllister, which has resulted in the visit of this gentleman's MEP coming here, listening to Gibraltar, meeting with various associations, ours included, so that he can now go back and take the very positive message which we're all giving him. So he will be able to use his position within the European Parliament to hopefully champion the causes and the well wishes of Gibraltar. He also conveyed the fact that Gibraltar needs to continue these efforts. He mentioned that our Chief Minister had written several articles in German newspapers, which he himself had read, so he expressed that this was also a very important facet in terms of getting the message out there to people that might not normally be aware of the particularities of the situation in which we find ourselves in.
And after today's meeting, the cross-frontier group will be hoping this becomes a more regular occurrence, and Gibraltar's position post-Brexit is highlighted further across Europe.